Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Manny B Investing. I wanted to take a look at a newer Paribus blog posting, the Paribus MVP importance. Why is the MVP meaningful for the success of Paribus and for the health of the overall DeFi space? In this article, we discuss this question. Audit updates will be released as soon as possible. So we are definitely getting close to the MVP. So let's take a look at the blog posting. A giant leap for Paribus. Some may wonder why the MVP release is so important for Paribus, since the platform will offer similar borrowing and lending conditions to those that already exist within the crypto market. The answer to this point is in two parts. Firstly, it's a necessary step in the progress of Paribus, and secondly, the market always needs more options. More options means better environment for users. That is my firm belief. I believe that across not just technology, but all aspects of business. If a consumer has more options, it causes the companies to compete and to innovate, which gives better offerings and better pricing. It's common within the crypto space to oversimplify the developments of blockchain technology. This is partly due to the incredible talented minds working in the space that make everything seem so easy, and partly due to the rapid development of the technology. We're now very familiar with the regular questions about when Paribus will moon, become a Cardano native token, lend NFTs, and so forth. The reality is that these things take time to develop, and we're busy building a strong foundation to realize all of these goals. So step one should be to stand up a product, a borrowing and lending platform with the basic assets being offered, like Ethereum, Bitcoin, and then of course the host network's native token in the case of Cardano, ADA. So Ethereum, Bitcoin, Cardano's ADA, and then of course some stable coins like USDT, USDC, and then eventually JED. So let's keep moving. The first step in building the future of DeFi for Paribus is the release of our MVP. This will enable us to lock value within the platform, issue loans, and expand the functionality of our PBX token. It's important for us to move as quickly as conditions allow in the safest and most secure manner. We've previously explained the significant losses that have occurred in other projects and the reason for our methodical approach to making Paribus as secure as possible. As Simon, our CTO, has already explained, unfortunately, nothing in cyberspace is 100% secure. With Dennis adding, our CEO adding, we place a huge emphasis on security. Having programs such as bug bounties will allow for our community to safeguard the security of our protocol. We have specially secured advisors that can help us with this program and who can generally help ensure the safety of the capital within Paribus contracts. So when people insert money, whether it be institutions, other people, or even you want the funds that are placed in those contracts, that are stored in those smart contracts, to be safe. You do not want them to be exploited. You don't want to have to worry about things like that as much, especially given what has happened to platforms in the past. They're taking extra caution in making sure that the obvious things are secure as possible. And granted, nothing is 100% like they stated, but it's good to be as close to 100% as possible and not just throwing a product out there to appease some investors. That's just silly. The release of the MVP allows us to begin offering both sides of borrowing and lending functionality across the major currencies. So Bitcoin, Ethereum, ADA, USDT, Tether, and USDC. This allows people to interact with our platform and become familiar with our approach. We can then add further aspects of borrowing and lending, such as borrowing and lending as they become available, such as JED, which is the Cody native stablecoin, and NFT integrations. This allows us to build up from a solid foundation into more and more exotic assets, like synthetics and things like that. For those who think there are already enough borrowing and lending platforms available, it's important to remember how early we are and that the market always looks for more options. Large investors, for instance, usually spread their assets across multiple wallets and by nature want to spread their investments across as many platforms as possible. This helps to even both yield and risk, as well as helping obfuscate how large their holdings are. So that is actually smart. And then another thing that they really didn't mention here is that a majority of the borrowing and lending platforms out there are all on Ethereum. They're on Ethereum mainnet. And even so, the layer twos, there's a lot that you have to learn and know to move value around Ethereum. And it's extremely expensive in fees. And then to use routers and bridges to move tokens to all these weird layer 2 solutions that you may or may not have heard of. And it's hard to trust that stuff. But kudos to the people that have the balls to dig in early and spread that value around there. Very risky, but is necessary. Just last week, for instance, Goldman Sachs gave a loan to a client based on their offering BTC as collateral. A spokesperson for the bank said, "We recently extended a secure lending facility where we lent fiat collateralized on BTC, BTC being owned by the borrower. The interesting piece for us was the structure and the 24/7, 365-day risk management. Despite this, many DeFi platforms where the borrowers could have secured the same loan, they chose instead to use a legacy finance giant. Perhaps it was because they already had many other loans across the DeFi space and wanted to broaden their options. One thing is for certain, Goldman Sachs only offers these types of facilities to very high net worth individuals, and it's most likely the borrower was fully aware of all the current DeFi platforms." So when they say 24/7, 365-day risk management, it's because crypto is traded 24/7 across all days, all holidays. It does not care about any of that stuff. And with that comes the risk of the volatility all day, every day across all those holidays. So it's a lot more difficult to manage something 24/7 than it is to manage it just 5 days a week, and you can take breaks on the holidays. So a lot of times you have to use software to do that stuff. This goes to show, despite that many borrowing and lending platforms already in existence, there's always going to be a demand for more options from the market. Added that our MVP provides us with a solid and stable footing to extend into NFT collateralization and institutional integrations. Although our MVP release may be a small step in an overall DeFi space, it's a giant leap for Paribus and the start of a very exciting stage of our growth and development. We're overjoyed to be in this position and delighted to have you with us for this incredible journey. So it's all about borrowing and lending. There's a huge list of borrowing and lending platforms. Very few jump out at you. Even, for myself, I've looked at this list. I've seen a bunch of different ones out there, but there are like some main staples that kind of just go above and beyond. And we are looking for Paribus to do the exact same thing. We're not looking for them to just be at the bottom of the pile. We are going to be leaping, and they've already made a name for themselves. I heard about them. You've heard about them. They are backed by Cardano C Fund. I would say very few. I would say on the list of 100, maybe 3 have that type of support, and Paribus is one of them. So again, that's why I am so bullish on it in the grand scheme. Right now, prices are pretty much unbelievable. But yeah, opportunity here, not financial advice. If you don't have the appetite for risk, don't worry about it. Maybe DCA, that's what I'm doing. I'm not just, shoveling these tokens in. I am averaging them in. I am taking my time. We've got a long way to go. We are just now getting into the MVP status. So make sure you are doing the best thing for yourself as far as your investments. But thank you for checking out the channel. Make sure you hit that like, hit the share, and subscribe. And we'll see you on the next one. Peace.